I never expected that a simple game played in the bright daylight of a summer afternoon would uncover the deep, unspoken painful truths we had both spent years trying to hide from the world and from each other. Before we step into this powerful journey together, if you believe in kindness, forgiveness, hope, and second chances, please take a moment to like this video, leave a thoughtful comment, share it with someone who needs warmth today, and subscribe to our channel to join our growing community of compassionate hearts. For as long as I could remember, Jasper had been the steady anchor in my chaotic world, the loyal friend who stayed by my side when everyone else walked away. We grew up in a sun-drenched coastal village, spending our afternoons surrounded by the warm, gold sunlight filtering through the windows of the small bakery my family had owned for generations. However, 2 years prior, a devastating fire had ruined the shop and taken away my father's lifelong passion, leaving me buried under mountains of debt, grief, and an overwhelming fear of ever trusting anyone again. My previous fiancé had abandoned me the moment the catastrophe struck, taking his promises with him and leaving my self-worth entirely broken. Through all those dark months that followed, Jasper had stepped up without hesitation, sacrificing his own career opportunities in the city to help me clean up the wreckage, rebuild the stone kitchen, and slowly bring light back into my life. He never asked for anything in return, maintaining a gentle, supportive presence while carefully hiding the longing that lived deep within his eyes, keeping his personal feelings locked away behind a mask of selfless brotherhood because he knew how fragile my heart truly was. As the months turned into years, our bond became a sanctuary of shared laughter, quiet morning coffee routines, and relentless hard work under the bright afternoon sun. We had finally managed to restore the old bakery, filling the room with the comforting scents of baked bread, vanilla beans, and roasted nuts that danced in the warm daylight. Yet despite the success of our fresh start, an invisible wall remained between us, constructed entirely from my own fear of intimacy and Jasper's deep fear of ruining the only friendship that gave his life meaning. Every time he looked at me with an extra lingering glance, or every time his hand rested a second too long on mine while passing a tray of flour, I would pull back slightly, terrified that allowing love into my life again would only lead to another heartbreaking abandonment. Jasper noticed every subtle hesitation, and though it broke his heart, he never pushed me beyond my limits, choosing instead to find creative, gentle ways to make me smile and remind me that joy was still allowed to exist in my world. On a brilliant, warm Tuesday afternoon, with sunlight streaming through the broad glass windows of our empty storefront, Jasper declared with a wide, playful grin that it was time to test a series of new fruit glazes and artisanal honeys he had spent the morning preparing. He produced a soft, navy blue silk scarf from his apron pocket and told me that to truly evaluate the intricate flavors without visual bias, I needed to be completely blindfolded. I laughed at his childish enthusiasm, feeling a rare wave of lightness wash over me as I sat down on a high wooden stool near the sunny counter and allowed him to gently tie the fabric behind my head. The darkness was instant, but instead of feeling fearful, I felt remarkably safe knowing Jasper was standing directly in front of me, his familiar scent of fresh cedarwood and warm sugar wrapping around me like a warm embrace. He began the test by guiding small spoonfuls of delicate flavors to my lips, starting with a bright citrus marmalade that made my mouth pucker, followed by a smooth, velvety dark chocolate infused with sea salt that melted softly on my tongue. With each bite, Jasper's voice remained soft, guiding me through the sensory experience while I guessed each ingredient with growing delight and laughter, feeling closer to him than I had in months. But as the game continued, the atmosphere in the sunlit room slowly shifted into something far deeper, far more intimate, charged with a quiet intensity that made my pulse begin to race beneath my skin. I heard the quiet scrape of his stool moving closer, followed by the soft sound of his breathing right in front of me, far nearer than he had been for any of the previous taste tests. Before I could ask what ingredient was coming next, I felt his warm fingers gently cradle the side of my face, his thumb brushing tenderly against my cheekbone with a reverence that made my breath catch in my throat. Before my mind could process the sudden change, Jasper leaned in and pressed his lips gently to mine in a kiss that was slow, sweet, overflowing with years of silent devotion, and filled with an emotional depth that instantly melted every layer of defense I had built around my heart. When he slowly pulled back, leaving my lips tingling and my mind spinning in a whirlwind of unexpected emotion, he kept his face inches from mine, his warm breath fanning against my skin as he whispered the simple, breathtaking words to guess the flavor. I sat completely frozen, my hands trembling as I reached up and slowly pulled the blindfold down to my neck, blinking against the sudden brightness of the afternoon sun as my eyes met his. Jasper was looking at me with a raw, vulnerable expression I had never seen before, his eyes shimmering with unshed tears and a deep, honest devotion that left no room for doubt. In that quiet, sun-drenched moment, I realized that the kiss did not just taste like sweet wildflower honey or subtle vanilla, it tasted like unwavering loyalty, like unconditional acceptance, like safety, and like the second chance at real love that I had spent years believing I was unworthy of receiving. A rush of conflicting emotions overwhelmed me, bringing tears streaming down my cheeks as the weight of my past heartbreak suddenly clashed with the overwhelming beauty of the love standing right in front of me. I panicked at the sheer magnitude of what this meant, wondering if I was truly strong enough to let go of my old pain, or if I would end up ruining Jasper's pure heart just like others had ruined mine. Sensing my internal battle, Jasper did not run away or try to retract his gesture. Instead, he took both of my trembling hands in his, dropped to one knee right beside the stool, and looked up at me with absolute sincerity. He told me that he had loved me silently through every storm, every tear, and every victory, and that he did not expect me to fix all my fears overnight, but simply wanted me to know that I would never have to face the world alone again if I chose to take a chance on him. His vulnerability opened a floodgate within my soul, breaking down the final wall of fear that had kept me isolated for so long, allowing me to finally see that true love does not take away your safety, it becomes your sanctuary. I looked down at the man who had picked up every broken piece of my life without ever asking for praise, and I realized that holding on to past pain was only holding me back from the incredible future standing right in front of my eyes. I reached down, took his face in my hands, and kissed him back with all the love, gratitude, and hope I had kept hidden inside myself for so many years. The morning sun bathed us in a warm, golden glow as we embraced in the middle of our little shop, marking the moment we both stepped out of the shadows of our pasts and into a bright, beautiful future built on mutual trust, deep forgiveness, and an unbreakable bond. What would you do if the person who stood by you in your darkest hours suddenly gave you the courage to love again? Please take a moment to share your heart and leave a meaningful comment below about what loyalty and second chances mean to you. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, leave a meaningful comment, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss another emotional journey. As the sun continued its slow journey across the afternoon sky, illuminating every corner of the bakery with radiant light, Jasper and I hand in hand stood together at the window looking out at the town ahead. We knew that life would still bring its share of challenges and uncertainties, but for the very first time, I felt no fear of tomorrow because I was standing beside someone who truly cherished my soul. The simple taste test that began as a playful game had transformed into the sweetest turning point of our lives, proving that even the most broken hearts can heal when bathed in the warm light of true devotion, patient kindness, and everlasting love.